Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome. Already seeing a lot of people in the chat here. Don't cry or I'm going to cry. I mean, it's going to be a guarantee I'm probably going to cry.
How many times have you cried on this podcast? If we can get through this episode without you crying, it'll be a miracle.
Big miracle. Thanks, everyone, for the congrats. Will not miss this one.
Oh,
thank you, Cool Dad. No, we're good. Don't worry about that. We're trying to pick out what my first work shirt's going to be on my first day, guys. So, I mean, apparently Sydney really wants everyone to
chip in.
This is what you guys are tuning into.
And then there's this one.
Save the green short sleeve one for Thursday because I know I'm going to be going out in the park.
I need to know because I have to steam it.
I mean, let's do it after the podcast. Let's do it after the podcast.
After the podcast, it's going to be like 10:30. You guys are going to talk about all your favorite moments.
Yeah.
My butt's going to bed.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for the kind words and congrats here.
It's a new adventure.
All right, I got all my stuff ready to go here. Let me pull up the doc.
Oh, I just saw you pop in there.
Yep, there. Hello. Thank you, everyone. All right, so, as usual, we're going to record the podcast. We'll interact with you guys via the chat throughout the episode. You can catch the audio version when it drops online tomorrow afternoon. And I think that's about ready to go here. It's going to be a full episode because not only do we have lots to talk about in terms of my favorite moments in the past 10 years, but we got lots to talk about in terms of like Disney opening because I'll talk about my day at Magic Kingdom.
Yes, I definitely want to talk to you about that.
Yes, I'm going to studios tomorrow.
Also, another reason we need to go better.
Yes. Well, luckily we don't have to be there till 10.
We still have to get up and get Oliver ready, get me ready, get you ready.
Right.
We have to call Ava and let her know what's going on.
I already texted Ava to be there at 9:45. And luckily we live like 10 minutes away from studio, so it works out perfectly. Kev Lee, hello to you.
No sad faces in the chat, guys.
No.
We are not going to be sad.
It's sad, but it's a good thing.
Happy sad.
Good change. All right. Well, we're going to wait a little longer because my son Oliver is in the bath right now. So we'll let him get out of the bath and then we will get going here.
I saw his tweets.
Yes, Oliver tweeting on my account for the first time somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
He didn't manage to send me a bank transfer, though. I was kind of disappointed.
I didn't want looking at you. I was looking over toward Oliver.
Well, I'm in the way between you and Oliver, and it looked like you were looking at me.
Yes. Did you hear about Merida? We're not planning on talk about it during the podcast, but we can go ahead and talk about it now before we get recording.
Dude, Merida needs all the kudos in the world for being able to ride Angus like that because holy
wow.
I was terrified watching it and so glad that she wasn't hurt.
Right.
Because horses can really mess you up. God, that was so scary. Oh man. I'm glad she's okay, though.
Yeah, just a freak set of circumstances for that balloon to go flying around his leg like that.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Ugh, scary.
Yeah.
I'd be scared too if a balloon randomly attacked me.
I think that one's definitely for Thursday.
And then this one for tomorrow, or for Wednesday? Because it's more casual, but it's also not so casual that you can't get away with wearing it to work.
Especially if I tucked it into my pants and with the belt on. Yeah, because I'm not sure what I still don't know what the dress code is for the department I'm in.
Right, and we don't know if it's a little bit more lax than,
right.
say, frontline management.
Right. So I don't know if it's a suit and tie kind of thing or not.
You could always dress this up with a tie.
I could.
You could put the purple tie with this one or the pink tie.
We'll see. Well, I'll wear that on Wednesday. Okay. We'll do those two.
Great. So now I have.
Yeah, get Oliver out of the bath, get him ready for bed, and then we will start recording here. Our home life.
We didn't really do anything too exciting. I tried to trim Brody's nails.
Oh Lord.
And by trim, we got like a Dremel thing because I'm terrified of like clipping the nail too close to like where his little quick is inside the nail. Hates it. Hates the noise. Hates how it feels. Freaks out. I got to do one nail.
That's how it is when we try to clip Oliver's fingernails and toenails and give him a haircut.
Yeah, he was just like, I hate this. I'm not having
No,
it.
I'm not.
And then we started a movie on Netflix called A Whisker Away. It's very cute. It's a cat anime.
Yes, cool daddy. We have to acknowledge both the sadness and the happiness. Thank you, Figment. Good to see you, sir.
Oliver saying thank you, cool daddy.
Cool daddy. All done. Okay.
Wow, this is hot, Banks.
I put it the exact same the way I always do it.
Well, apparently our cold water is a little bit low right now.
Ugh, not good. Thank you, Irina. Miss you too, but like, you can still follow me. I'll still be around online at Banksley on Twitter, at Dizzy Goofball on Instagram. I will still be posting, so I'm not going. You're not getting rid of me that easily.
Maybe one day, if Legoland will allow it, we'll have you do a guest spot or something.
Yeah,
if
maybe.
that's allowed.
We'll talk about whatever's happening over at the park.
Yeah.
Look real quick. He wants to say hi. Hello.
Hey, buddy.
All right, go get that.
A little face.
We don't need to see that on the Twitter feed. All right.
Oliver.
Oh my goodness.
Oliver. Come here.
What?
Dude, you gotta get dry. Come here.
Brittany,
Yes.
while we're waiting, pull up the text that we just got sent.
I was just doing. Oh God. Oh no.
We're not going to talk about that right
We're
now.
not
but,
going to talk about this. But, oh no. Oh God. Oh man.
oh, no.
This is one thing I'm sad about is the work group chats, man.
Yeah.
They bring
I'm
so
gonna
much joy
miss
to
our
my
group
days.
chats.
Oh man.
I was on Cheddar, the Cheddar National News Network the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. And then it got syndicated through like various newspapers and stuff.
That was the Bloomberg article that I was in, but I was also the video news network, called Cheddar, was on there talking about Disney's reopening, and then was quoted in Bloomberg News. So even on my last week, we're still talking about some stuff.
Pinky's out.
Oliver does look like Sydney. Although I think he looks more like me.
I think Oliver looks like you and Spencer looks like Sydney.
Yeah, Oliver's me, and then Spencer is Sydney.
Spencer's like the spitting image of Sydney.
Yeah, cool daddy. I mean, that's true. We're also losing Ava, Sydney, Spencer, and Oliver. They're all leaving attractions.
Yes, but I will be continuing the attraction of food, just not as the attraction of food.
Yes.
And it's not going to be just Disney. It's going to be like all non-franchise foods that you can possibly get in the Orlando area. So it's not going to just be theme parks. It's going to be like mom and pop shops, which I think really do need to have more. Will you come here?
Go to Maple Street Biscuit Company for me.
Where?
Maple Street Biscuit Company. I think it should be near you. They bought out Holler and Dash and took over all of their franchises. It's the best biscuit place ever.
Yeah.
So good. I sent side note, I sent what we got in our group chat to Josh so he could see it. And he just says, do your podcast.
All right, we're gonna get the podcast going here very, very soon. All right.
Where is Oliver's cup?
Somewhere. He puts it so many places. All right. Can you say goodnight?
Good night.
Good night.
All right, you ready to go night?
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Come on.
If you can't find the one he's been using, just grab one from the dishwasher.
Are there clean cups in the dishwasher?
There's the cups are in the dishwasher. The lids are in the sink.
I hate cleaning the lids. I don't mind cleaning the cup. I hate cleaning the lid.
Night.
Oh.
Good night, Daddy.
Can you turn the fan up too? Thank you.
Because I don't already have my hands full.
He's on your shoulders. All right. Here we go, everyone. Apologies for the delay there.
It's all right. They're
right.
getting a good behind the scenes bit for your last episode.
Yep. Gotta go out with a bang here. All right. So we'll try to keep the sadness toward the end of the podcast, but we'll see what happens.
We can do this.
We got this.
We
All right.
can do
Thanks
this.
once again. Thanks again for tuning in every week. We are getting ready to start recording. We will interact with you guys in the chat here every now and then, but we're going to keep the conversation mainly to Brittany and myself. The podcast, and I'm sure people are going to already ask, the podcast is continuing. I think we're going to possibly as soon as next week, Brittany will have a new co-host where they did a test record and I really liked him.
Last night, yeah, Banks was the only one that watched it because I made it private so that way we could just kind of feel it out.
Mhm.
And then I noticed in the corner that one person was watching, and I was like, "Who is it?" And then Banks texted me after and was like, "It was me," because I was like paranoid about it. I was like, "Who's watching right now? I'm so scared."
So hopefully Matt likes him. I like him. I think he's going to be a perfect replacement. He and Brittany have a great chemistry. So podcast will be continuing. So never
Yes.
fret.
So I hope you guys stick around. I'll still be here.
Yes.
You haven't gotten rid of me yet, so
All right, here we go. Let's start recording here. Just after 12 minutes. Perfect. Here we go. 3, 2. Oh, I got.
Oh.
You turn the baby monitor off.
the beauty of live television, folks.
It's always something. Always something.
Yeah.
All right. All right, all videos are up. Doc is up. Here we go. 3, 2. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 43 of the Attractions Podcast. I'm Banks,
And I'm Brittany.
and we're here to give you the rundown of all the latest happenings from the past week over at attractionsmagazine.com and in our lives in general. And of course, if you are listened to last week's episode or have been following us on social media, this week will be my final episode of the Attractions Podcast and my final few days with Attractions Magazine. Wednesday of this week, I make the transition over to Legoland, Florida as their new public relations and content manager. So it's a bit of a bittersweet night tonight.
We're not going to be sad, though. We already said this. We're saving the sad for the main attraction. So
Exactly.
we got to keep it together.
Even that, it won't be that sad. It's going to be a fun look back at my top 10 favorite things over the past 10 years. We'll get to that in a little bit. We got a lot of news to talk about, though. So, but first, real quick, let's talk about our week. So, Brittany, how has been your week over there in Texas?
Well, Texas has turned into a fiery inferno.
What?
It's super hot.
Oh, okay.
Like the heat index is like 101 and up every day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's been an ordeal. Other than that, work as usual. Well, I'm learning how to do new things now because you are leaving. So I learned how to run this. Hopefully, I will do a good job. And yeah, just kind of hanging out. I got a new game, but I haven't started it yet. Because, and you heard this last night. The game it's a Japanese game called Deadly Premonition 2. But it's a meme like its predecessor. There's a meme for it running poorly, and they tried to carry,
right?
Yeah, they tried to carry that over to this new game, but now it's just like bad, and it runs at like 15 frames per second when like most games are 30 to 60 frames. So I'm just gonna like not play it until they put a patch out.
Mm-hmm.
But
speaking of playing it, I want to see if you've seen this. Now, I am not I don't play a lot of video games outside of like Nintendo, but there is a game trailer that came out today for Far Cry 6.
Yes, I watched. That was during the Ubisoft Forward thing. I watched that.
Yeah, like so I don't know anything about the Far Cry series. I didn't know there were 6 games now, but like watching the trailer, it took me a second to try to like wrap my head around like I thought it was like a live action announcement trailer at first, and I was like, "Oh no, this is the video game graphics." Well,
motion capture, yeah, motion capture and photo. There's a word for it, but it's basically like how they do like K2SO and like virtual CG characters. They put on suits with little dots all over them, and they act out the game. And then they capture that motion and their movements and their faces too, and then animate over that, and then that's games now.
So it's the trailer has, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes, from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Mandalorian, and the kid is Miguel from Coco.
That was Miguel?
Yeah, I found that out earlier, and I was like, "What?"
I gotta go back and watch the trailer again now.
You have to, because I was reading about it because I've never played a Far Cry game either, but anything with Giancarlo in it, I want to watch and or play.
He's so charismatic as a villain.
He's horrifying, and that trailer alone like sold me on his character. But it's a first-person shooter game, and I'm not a huge fan of those. So I'll probably wait until it comes out and see what happens. But the motion capture looks incredible. Some of the best I've seen. Yeah.
So go check that out if you haven't seen it. The trailer for Far Cry 6 is out on the interwebs right now. So yeah, it's just been a slow week leading up to this week. The main thing that I really did this past week is I went to Magic Kingdom. We'll talk about that at the top of the news in the queue. And then I'm just getting ready to make the transition this Wednesday.
It's going to be so weird.
It is. I'm like returning all the equipment to Matt, all the camera gear and stuff like that. And then no more group chats with you guys. And it's like,
you still better text me though.
Oh no,
I'm gonna be so mad.
If Matt or someone put something in your group chat, you forward it to me that you think I need to see.
What are you gonna do with all those attractions polos?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. I mean, they're like 3X, so I can't just like give one of our other coworkers because they'd be way too big for them. So I don't know. I'll probably keep them. They look cool.
Frame one. That would be cute to put in your office or something.
Yeah. Right up here or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, Alfred. Yes. And by the way, of course, if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, once again, we do live stream this every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Attractions Magazine YouTube channel. So you'll hear us interacting with everyone in the YouTube chat every now and then. And Alfred says that he will miss me on here, and I will miss seeing you guys and chatting with you guys. But like I said, you can follow me on my personal socials. DJ J. Actually, real quick before we move on, to know who the new host for ENL will be. Kat, you've been seeing on ENL for several months now. She and her friend Katie will be the new hosts, so they'll start this week. So please support them. It's like we said during the last stream, it's the new season of ENL. So Brittany and Vincent were season 1, Ava and I were season 2, and now I've and Kate for season 3. So tune in, and they'll have their own fresh spin on ENL, and it'll be a fun time.
It's always good to see how the new hosts kind of take over my child,
Yeah, because you started. This was like your idea. This was your baby.
Yeah. So it's been a journey because Vincent and we started it before theme park live streams were really a thing. And it's cool to see how it's taken off and changed over time.
Like, and we say it every week, the number one theme park live stream in the world. I don't think that's the truth anymore at this point, but when ENL first started 4 years ago, we were the only ones, so we just said that anyway. It just sucked.
And that's how we got away with it too.
Exactly. So it's just the catchphrase. We don't think that that's the fact because it probably isn't at this point.
No.
There are plenty of other live streams out there. Support them all. They're all doing a good job. All right. So let's go ahead and jump because, like I said, we got lots to talk about. Let's jump right into the news in the queue.
All right. First things first. 2 Disney parks opened this past weekend, Magic Kingdom and Disney's Animal Kingdom. We went to Magic Kingdom. And specifically by we, I mean Banks went to Magic Kingdom. So if you would, tell us about how it went. What was your experience like?
It was great. I had a great time there. First, can we pause for a second?
Sure. What's the time for that?
20 and a half minutes. 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, my fingerprint thing isn't working.
And for those wondering, like watching live right now, that this is where I'm going to make the cut in the audio version, so you don't hear this. I think I pulled up the wrong video.
Oopsie.
There is the right video. Okay. I know. It's. I've got so many. I got my last day. I couldn't get through it. Dang it. There's the right video. All right. Okay, so we'll get going here.
Mickey Mouse. 3,
2. Yes, I did go to Magic Kingdom. It was the very first day of the cast member previews. A cast member invited me as their guest. So I went out there and we live streamed for about 2 hours and 16 minutes, just walking around every land. We went and rode 5 rides and just kind of showing what the park is like now with the limited capacity and all the new health and safety measures put in place. And I had a great morning. Like I didn't stay all day. I was only there till about noon. So I was there for about 3 hours, but it was so good to be back in the park again. I've been going to Universal now and Legoland and SeaWorld since they've been open back in June. But this was, of course, first time back for anyone back at Disney since they closed in March. So it was a nice return home. And the gorgeous, you can see right there, the castle.
It looks so good.
Stunning. I know a lot of people are complaining about how it looks too similar to the color scheme for Sleeping Beauty Castle at California. I don't mind it. Our castle has needed a good fresh coat of paint for a long time, and I love the gold trims that they've added to the turrets and all the accents, and when the sun hits it, it's just so gorgeous.
I love the way it looks. I mean, I know seeing it in pictures and on video doesn't compare to seeing it in person, but I think it looks beautiful. I think the paint by numbers thing is funny. And the blue on the tops of the turrets is just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, so pretty. Yeah.
Now, DJJS in our YouTube live chat asked, was it better than other theme park reopenings? Personally, for me, I did have a bit more fun. It's tough. Disney and Universal are practically doing about the exact same things in terms of their. Can you write down 2320?
Yeah.
You're distracting me. I can't.
Sorry. When you said when the sun hits it just right, all I could think of was the Emperor's New Groove Pacha scene.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'll stop distracting you.
Okay. Now I don't even know where I can turn.
You were talking about how Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
And Universal.
Yes. Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. All right. Here we go again. Okay. It's all good. Here we go. All right. So for me, Universal and Disney are practically doing the same things in terms of their health and safety procedures. One exception being that Disney is doing reservations and Universal does not do reservations. But both things seem to be working out fairly for both parks. I had a great time there, and I really didn't see any problems. But of course, I was there for a cast preview. I was not there when your general guests were there, which I've heard stories from the first day of the guest reopening on Saturday. And, the cast members are going to act differently than regular day guests and pass holders. That's kind of a fact. And everyone was on their best behavior during the cast preview day that I was at. So I can't really give you a good generalization of how I feel the park is with regular guests yet, because I probably won't be going to the parks anytime soon. I got some training getting ready to go on with my new job.
Yeah.
But I will go into Hollywood Studios tomorrow for their first day of cast previews. So I get to see a different park and how they're doing. And we'll live stream tomorrow as well. I think we're just going to live stream at Galaxy's Edge. But yeah, it's just, they did their best. They honestly really did their best. And the procedures and the protocols they have in place with social distancing, enforcing the masks, with the relaxation zones. This is what surprised me. Universal, they have relaxation zones. I think they call them like the U zone or something like that. But they only have one in each park. They have one in Studios, one in Islands, and one in City Walk. Magic Kingdom had 3 just in that park. And I'm not sure how many are at Animal Kingdom, because I didn't get a chance to go there yet. But Magic Kingdom, there were 3. There was one at the Golden Oak Outpost in Frontierland. There was one in the Tomorrowland Terrace. And then there was one inside Pete's Silly Slide. And I did this during the live stream too. Sideshow. Pete's Silly Sideshow. I keep saying slideshow. Pete's Silly Sideshow at Storybook Circus. That used to be a meet and greet area, but since they're not doing your standard meet and greets, they've turned that into a relaxation zone. It's the only one in Magic Kingdom that is in air conditioning. So you're able to go inside and take your mask off and relax and breathe for a minute if you need that, which it's a great thing, because the mask debate is very hot and big topic to a lot of people right now. Yeah. So it's nice to see that Disney is providing areas for people if they want to sit down, separate from other people, and take their masks off for a little bit. So I think that's a great thing that they're doing. Yeah. U.S. zones are Universal.
U.S. zones. Since I am not in the Orlando area, I've been watching a lot of theme park live streams so I can see everything and pretend that I'm there. It feels like they're Disney, as far as safety protocols and everything, they've done the most that they can possibly do. And a lot of it relies on the guests coming and following the rules, obeying social distancing, wearing their masks when they're supposed to. And it seems for the most part, they are. There are some cases, as there would be anywhere. But I mean, everyone I've watched you streamed is I feel so safe. It's great. So, I mean, if you're going to go, I'm happy to hear that versus, a potential opposite,
And that's the thing, of course, Florida is basically the epicenter of COVID now in the whole freaking world.
Yeah.
There is a lot of heat on Disney about them reopening, but, they've been playing this reopening since well before these cases skyrocketed. And Universal, Legoland, SeaWorld, they've all been open since early June already. They didn't really get any kickback, but of course the cases were a lot lower back then. The theme parks, and I've said this many times in past episodes, I feel safer at the theme parks because they are doing their damnedest to keep things clean, keep people separated, and people safe. Whereas your local grocery store, they just stick signs and stickers on the ground and let you in for yourselves. They don't really enforce anything, which is, not good.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, as great as Disney and Universal and Legoland and SeaWorld and Gatorland, all these parks are doing with their specific rules and safety procedures, I still tell people, if you're thinking of visiting the park and you're not really a local, don't do it.
Agreed.
Even though it is safe, and I feel very comfortable in telling you it's safe to go, I also don't feel comfortable telling you to go if you're coming from out of town, because the experience is really diminished in terms of your standard theme park experience before March. No character meet and greets, no main parades, no fireworks, no shows, things like that. Those are really big staples of the theme park going experience. Annual pass holders, we've seen these parks many times, so we're okay with, a lot of us are okay with just going and the park again and experiencing this new normal. But your standard family coming from Washington State or Michigan, or even for their first time ever, please don't go yet. Don't go. Hold off. Wait for the numbers to go down. Wait for things to start coming back to the parks, because that Magic Park experience is not quite back yet.
Agreed. Yeah, I think, and going out and going to the parks and public places in general carries a risk.
Mhm.
And yeah, if
Know
you're
your
not a
risk.
local and you don't already like have a trip planned where they did like your rescheduling of your tickets from a past trip that you might have missed, it's better and more valuable to you if you wait.
Yeah, yeah. And if you are going to go, stay safe. Use every precaution available to you. They
Yes.
have many hand sanitizers around the park and at the beginnings of the lines and the ends of the rides. Use them. Every time you walk into a queue, sanitize your hands. Every time you get off the ride, sanitize your hands. Like, just keep yourself clean and safe. And that's really all you need to do. Like, just know the risks. There are going to be risks. That's a given.
Yeah.
Just use your mind. Just be safe.
Yeah. Try to be aware of your surroundings. It is a magical place, but you have to kind of keep yourself at least close to the ground in reality and stay aware.
We have a good question in our chat here that I do want to address before we move on. Ebony Dunn asks, once the pandemic is over, do you think the theme parks will continue to follow these safety guidelines or go back to how things were before COVID-19? I don't even know when the pandemic could even be over. I don't even see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, because I feel like we haven't even hit the second wave yet. We haven't even gotten over the crest of the first wave.
Yeah.
I don't know, because this could be our normal for a long time. And if I feel like if the effects get any more extreme, we could see a modification of the rules.
Or even closings again.
Yeah.
It's...
I mean, here in Austin, they closed everything but essential businesses again.
Mhm.
And we had restaurants and like salons and bars and stuff were open. They've closed them all again.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think you're going to still see a lot of hand sanitizer for a long time to come.
Yeah.
That is a very important element to it. You'll see the continued cleaning of things. That'll be very important.
I think the masks will probably become optional depending on how bad or less bad things get.
I tend to agree with you on that.
But I think people will still choose to wear them.
Yeah, no, and I plan on wearing mine for a long time to come. Just because, like, you look at countries like Japan and China, even before the pandemic started, their culture was all about wearing masks and protecting themselves specifically from like the smog and things like that. And they're you look at the numbers since the pandemic started, there's spiked a little bit, but nowhere near what America is at right now. And I don't want this to be a political discussion at all, but we just got to start wearing the masks, and then the numbers will start declining. And then maybe when it gets to a safe number, then they'll become optional. And the people who still want to, they can totally still wear the mask. It's not like they're going to be like, no more masks, period. You're going to get a ticket if you wear a mask. No, I don't think that'll happen at all. It's going to become hopefully the numbers are down, it'll be a courtesy kind of thing where you're wearing your mask just to be courteous to your fellow humans and your fellow Americans. So yeah, I just don't know when it's going to be over. I don't even know like what they could do. I would say the first thing that Disney and Universal would probably do is bring back parades and shows when numbers have started to go down, but they'll probably keep everything else going.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, even with the parades and the shows, like how socially distant with those, especially with Disney.
At the international Disney parks, they have like tape boxes on the ground where parties can stand in, but so many people fill up the hub area for Happily Ever After every night. There's no way that they could box that area off and be like, okay, we have enough room for 300 families, and then the rest of you are SOL. So
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know, because Josh and I were talking about like, man, I wish we could like come down to Orlando and hang out with our friends and go see everybody, but like, when are we going to get to do that? Like there really does feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel right now.
Oh,
maybe when there's a vaccine, we will.
Yeah, maybe hopefully, knock on wood, we'll get a vaccine Probably not
Soon.
2020 because 2020, you know, it's
Dude,
year.
2020 is a tough year.
Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next subject.
Yes. So, because the parks are reopening with a bunch of changes, how you're going to see Disney characters are changing. And
Yes.
we've got a few videos of how that works. So basically, at Magic Kingdom, they're doing cavalcades, which are like miniature parade experiences. They are random throughout the day, so you just have to be in the right place, right time. And they have various themes. So there's the Royal Princess Processional, the Mickey and Friends Cavalcade, the Fantasyland Friends Cavalcade. Cinderella's evil stepsisters also appear, but they hang out at the back of Cinderella Castle. And then I think there's a Goofy Cavalcade as well.
Yeah.
That one wasn't in the release that the Disney put out, but I've seen that one go around in the park. So. So that's neat. They're very fun. They don't stop. So you'll just be able to watch the characters as they go by. They'll wave, they'll interact, and then that's it. And that's how you see the characters in Magic Kingdom for now. At Animal Kingdom, though, they've been using the rivers throughout the park and have characters floating by on barges, which is cool. I love that because they never use those waterways ever.
Exactly.
So you can see kind of like Donald's Dino Bash, but it's Donald's Dino Boat Bash. And it's Donald Duck, Daisy, and Launchpad McQuack on a barge together. And then there's Discovery River Character Cruise, where you can see Timon and Rafiki or Pocahontas and Miko as they sail through the waterways. And I don't think Miko comes out very, very often. So
he's pretty rare right now.
Yeah. And then the Discovery Island Drummers also have their own barge too, which is so cool. I haven't seen anyone take video of that, but I really want to because
I saw a photo of that, and I saw a photo of one that has Goofy and the monks on it.
I want to see it. And then for Epcot and Hollywood Studios, which open on the 15th, for Epcot, there is the Mickey and Friends World Tour, and it'll be Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, and Goofy traveling around World Showcase. And then the Frozen Promenade, which is Queen Anna and Elsa. It's really hard not to say Queen Elsa.
I know, right?
As they venture through the World Showcase, traveling from country to country. Now, I don't know if they're going to be on vehicles or if they will be strolling and not stopping.
I would hope they're on vehicles because
I would hope so.
You know how guests are. If they're walking, they're gonna
run right up to them. Yeah. So I hope they're on vehicles. I wish that they kept like the double-decker buses from like the. Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
So cool. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I thought about that when I was writing this up, and I was like, man, that would be perfect if they kept that thing. But they did not. For Hollywood Studios, you still have your standard Star Wars walk-around characters, as you would expect, Rey, Chewbacca, Vi Marati, Kylo, and the First Order Stormtroopers, but they will not be interspersed with guests. They will be up in high places or in the surrounding theming that guests can't access, but you'll still see them.
You may catch a glimpse of them on tomorrow's live stream, so check us out there.
And then there's the Pixar Pals Motorcade, which will travel down Hollywood Boulevard, and it'll be characters from The Incredibles and Toy Story riding in little cars. And then there's a Disney Junior Stars Motorcade, which is the same thing in the same area, but with Disney Junior characters.
There we go. It's it's the best way I think Disney can do these character interactions. That still get to see the characters. You could always do selfies with them as they pass behind you, and then, it takes away that close contact kind of meet and greet. You don't want someone hugging Mickey and then you to hug him next, and that's in this day and age, no one wants that.
Lots of contact.
So I think this is the best thing that Disney can do, and it'd be nice to see them doing something kind of like what Universal does and putting characters up on a stage setting so that you can still go up and do a selfie, but they're much closer to you and they're staying still. so that you can still get a character, but you don't worry about going by in a cavalcade. I would like to see that. I know that they do that, with Stepsisters at Cinderella Castle. Some of the characters come up to the Main Street train station. Animal Kingdom, I'm not sure if they're doing that anywhere, but I want to see more of that instead of just these little cavalcades.
I think that would be nice for characters that aren't included in the cavalcades, though they pretty much have covered all the bases, at least in Magic Kingdom. I think that would be cool if they would do that.
DJ in our YouTube chat, what Hollywood Studios is doing reminds him of the old Stars and Motorcars parade. And yes,
that's basically it.
Yeah. So it'll be cool to see that again. I missed that parade.
I'll be excited to see how they do Star Wars, because a lot of the upper decks, I guess you would call them, of the buildings and stuff, they're made so that characters can travel and walk around up there. So
especially the area where they have the speeders that are in the maintenance bay.
Yeah.
There's that. There's some balconies over by the Falcon where they can stand up at. So there are plenty of places for the characters to be, and up on around the X-wing in the A-wing area, they can be in there. So
and Chewie can get in the cockpit of the Falcon too. So
that's right. Oh my gosh.
So
I'm looking forward to seeing how the Falcon works tomorrow.
I'm excited. Yeah, I will be tuning in for
it's
that.
Just one party per vehicle this time.
But all the buttons, you have to touch them.
Oh, that's right. Are they going to clean after every go around? Man,
wear a glove and only use one finger to touch everything.
Star Wars themed gloves you have to put on. I mean, that's not unfamiliar, because I think Disney and I think Shanghai or Tokyo or Hong Kong, one of the Asian parks, they do that for the Buzz Lightyear dark ride. Give guests gloves to wear so they can still shoot the laser guns.
That wouldn't be a half bad idea, because I know that in Magic Kingdom they don't clean the blasters on Astro Blasters after every guest, but they clean them, I guess, in the morning and at night. So guests are expected to sanitize before and after. But that would be nice.
Once again, like I said, sanitize. Very important. All right.
Next up, Downtown Disney District reopened at the Disneyland Resort, which is cool. So many of my favorite Disneyland vloggers were very excited to be able to get close to Disneyland, sit in the Esplanade and listen to the music. We still don't have an opening date for Disneyland itself because of some state guidelines that still need to be issued in order for Disneyland to kind of prepare to bring cast members and guests back. But they're basically what is the rules for Walt Disney World are the same here at Disneyland. There are specific guest parking and entrance protocols. They have temperature screenings for guests. Face coverings are required. There is physical distancing being enforced throughout the stores. They have the plexiglass barriers in front of registers, social distancing in queues to check out, and contactless payment, which I think should just be a thing, widespread anyway. Tons of hand washing stations. Dining has been upgraded to have more outdoor seating and takeout, I guess. And then shopping experiences have been updated because so much of the special edition merchandise, like the 65th anniversary merchandise, just came out over there. But for specific merchandise that has like a release date and an event, they're not doing those in person anymore. So now they're doing those all online only. And you have to snag that limited edition merchandise online at a specific release date and time for now, at least.
Yeah. Basically, if you've been to Disney Springs, the exact same things you saw at Disney Springs are going to downtown Disney in California. So it's not going to be unfamiliar if you've experienced Disney Springs at this time of the year. So it's good to see them opening up something out there, especially after they had to delay the opening of Disneyland because of the state government rules. So I know, especially Michael, you in the chat. I know you're very excited about this downtown Disney. Miranda asking, when is Disneyland going to open? We don't know. It just depends on the government, the state government.
Yep, they have to. The last I heard was that the state government was going to release their guidelines for theme parks and other attractions to open sometime after the 4th of July. Well, it is July the 12th as of the time that we're recording this, and they haven't said anything. So they might be waiting for August to say something, or September. We really don't know.
It'll probably take Disney a few weeks to get things ready and get the cast members in and trained and all that stuff. So,
it could take
say August 1st, the state of California makes their decision. Disney jumps onto action, and Labor Day could be an opening. That's just hypothetical, but that's the kind of time frame I'm thinking we're going to see.
Yeah. I think I agree, because they would need at least 2 weeks to train everyone. And then that's not saying how much time they're going to need before cast members come back to prepare the park.
Right, exactly. So we'll see. But Downtown Disney is open if you want to get your little fix of Disney out there in California.
I saw, I think it was Fresh Bake's most recent video. They're letting people walk up to the Disneyland gates and take pictures, which is nice.
Nice. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people there July 17th. Just a heads up, since that is the anniversary of Disneyland, the 65th anniversary, actually. So I'm sure there's probably going to be a lot of people wanting to go over there and get photos at the gate.
For sure. A bit of surprising news. I didn't anticipate this to happen as soon as it did, but Walt Disney World has resumed ticket sales and resort hotel bookings for 2020.
Yes.
As of the 9th. So if you want to, you can book a trip to Walt Disney World right now for later in the year. Safe to say, I'm really surprised. I know that they said that they were going to focus on existing ticket holders and annual pass holders first before they release tickets, but I didn't think they were going to sell tickets for the rest of the year. I thought they were going to focus on who had tickets for now and then look forward to 2021 and maybe open them up around Halloween or Christmas time.
I mean, what this kind of says to me, and this is my opinion of what I think this means, is maybe the process of reserving these ticket reservations, the Disney Park Pass for annual pass holders and existing ticket holders, maybe it actually went as well as Disney was hoping it would, so that now they are able to then open up tickets for everyone.
Yeah. And I know some people didn't get the park pass dates that they wanted initially, but the system seems to be running fairly smoothly. I know, as any new thing does, it had its hiccups the first day, but clearly they feel confident about it if they're already opening up tickets and resort stays for later this year. They also opened up dining reservations for people who already have dining reservations to add on another one in the same park on the same day. So, for example, if you were dining at Your Guest on your day that you're visiting Magic Kingdom, you can now make a reservation for another table service Magic Kingdom restaurant on that same day if you want to.
There we go.
So that's neat. All right. Now this you'll get to kind of experience tomorrow when you go to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Disney has shared an update on how the virtual queue for Rise of the Resistance is going to work. Now, before this, they said that there would not be any virtual queues or Fast Pass for any rides, including Rise. And now Rise will have a virtual queue, but it won't be the same as what you're used to before all of COVID happened. So basically, you don't have to show up to the park super early like we did. You can show up to the park as you normally would, and 3 times a day at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m., various ride times will be released in the virtual queue that you can sign up for with your party. And anyone that is linked to your ticket, as long as they have their tickets logged into the My Disney Experience app, can sign up with you, and only one person has to do it. So you don't have to get everyone out on their phones trying to get in the virtual queue together. But you can only ride once a day. That's the thing. So hope it's a good ride.
I'm sure, if something goes horribly wrong during the ride, they'll do some guest recovery and
Right.
let them come back. But yeah.
But so once you sign up, make sure you've got push notifications turned on, and it'll send you a little notification when it's your turn to ride. And you have up to an hour from the time you get that notification to go to the entrance of the ride.
There you go. Oh, so yeah, I think this is actually a great update to this system because
I agree.
It does prevent you from having to get there at 6 a.m. and furiously refresh the app at 8 o'clock and hope that you get the best boarding group possible.
I mean, we did that together, and it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've done in a long time.
We were lucky to get a good number.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this makes it a lot easier and a lot less stressful.
Mhm.
Just to be like 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And if you miss the 10 o'clock, oh darn, I'll try again at 1 o'clock. And I think this will actually help everyone who wants to write it will be able to write it. I think.
Yeah.
With this, like it's going to work. So
well, that's why they're trying to set it so you can only ride once per day, because they want to get as many guests in that ride as possible.
Right.
I kind of hope that they keep this after everything going on, because honestly, this is way better than Fast Pass. Fast Pass sucks. Get rid of Fast Pass Plus. And as someone who absolutely hates getting up early, getting up as early as we did to get to the park an hour before park opened to hopefully get a good ride slot, I hated that. I was super tired. So this means that I can get up at a decent hour and get to the park and not have to worry about not getting a chance to ride. So
you guys can go back and listen to that episode of the podcast and hear in Brittany's voice just how done she is already.
I was so dead. So tired. But I was there.
Now,
I was dedicated.
Now, just to set the record straight here, I'm not going to go into what they're doing because it is a cast preview. But the way that the cast members are going to Rise tomorrow and Tuesday is completely different than this boarding group system. They're not utilizing this boarding group system. So if you see something posted tomorrow, either through us or other outlets who may be there, just know that the process for tomorrow and Tuesday will be completely different than Wednesday. It will not be representative of what the regular guests will be able to do on Wednesday.
Good to know. But I'm excited to see the rest of your coverage. I will be tuning in to that live stream.
Yes.
That's how I feel like I go outside and get to do things. All right. Last thing. Our friend of the show, Theron White, did a photo update for us on the not Jurassic Park roller coaster. That's not what that is. There's no roller coaster there.
No.
Well, it topped off its not highest point this past week, and they put a not Jurassic World flag on it. And
yeah, that's just some random drawing.
I don't see anything. I see a blank picture of the sky. I don't see anything.
There's no watchtower that has any logos on it either. That's inserted theming wise.
If that watchtower did exist, I would say it looks awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't expect any exterior theming on this coaster that doesn't exist. All jokes aside, it looks very cool. I will say I kind of hate how it has changed the view from the lagoon when you first walk into Islands, but
I will agree with that.
Yeah, I kind of hate it. But the coaster looks awesome. I can't wait to ride it when they decide to talk about it. It looks like it's gonna kick your butt, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
This will be in the high thrill category for Islands. Like Hagrid's is a great family coaster with some thrilling elements to it. This is whole level.
There is a photo about a third of the way through Theron's update that shows the scale of the top hat maneuver, and it's making my stomach hurt. It's like higher than Hogwarts, which is not built to scale, but it is really high. I'm a little scared. but I'm excited.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a pretty kick butt coaster with that's supposedly Velociraptor themed. I mean, there's the coaster. The details about this coaster aren't secrets. Like they're out there. Like we all know what this is going to be. We all know what it's going to be themed to. We all practically know what's going to be in the ride. Yeah. We're just waiting on Universal to finally catch up and decide that they want to share the details of the ride.
Right. I mean, looking at it, when do you think we could see this open? I mean,
2021, obviously. Yeah, definitely. Like the coaster itself, I think from maybe a few parts of the track at the end of the ride leading into the brake run and heading back into the station, I think the track itself is complete. Once they get the end part installed, the real work is going to be with all the theming elements, all the rock work they're going to be doing, the waterfall element that's supposedly going to be in one part, and the supposed animatronics that'll be part of the ride as well. So the coaster part is about 95% finished from what it looks like, but there's still a lot more work to do in terms of the theming of the around the track and in the queue area and the first show scene. So I would definitely give this a 2021 opening. Probably spring, probably around the frame at for Hagrid next year.
That was in June.
Yeah, it eventually opened in June, but it was supposed to open in spring.
Yeah. From the photos that we have in Theron's update, it looks like they're starting rock work, at least with the frame of the rock work. So be prepared to see that thing really come to life over the next few months.
It's very exciting, and it's, it throws, this is all right. So I think I've talked about this in the past, but it throws the theme of the whole Jurassic Park land on its head. So, Jurassic Park at Islands of Adventure, there is a backstory. It's Isle Aventura is the name of it. Isla Aventura, because you have Isla Nublar, Isla Sorna, and this was John Hammond's third and most successful of the Jurassic Parks, Isla Aventura. It actually ended up opening. So this is all part of the canon backstory. So now you've got the new Raptor encounter, which has been themed to Jurassic World officially. This coaster is going to be themed to Jurassic World. So you got these two Raptor-themed things smack dab in the middle of Jurassic Park. So it makes me wonder, like, if they're eventually just going to retheme the entire land into a Jurassic World land and do an update to the River Adventure like they did to the California version.
Wouldn't they have to change all of the Discovery Center too?
Yeah, I would think so. But that could be easily done. Like you can change the exterior and put that big pyramid on top of it, and boom, now you have the new Jurassic World Discovery Center. I mean, they've already built one out in Singapore, so
yeah. I will not accept it unless there is a walk around Jimmy Buffett character with margaritas.
Yes. I'll just show up in the outfit that I wore for the cover, and Please. I'll just walk around.
On opening day of that coaster, I want you to show up with 2 margaritas in hand, your pink shirt, just like walking around looking stressed.
Yeah. Looking up, trying to. All right. Perfect.
But that's it for me with news in the queue.
All right. That's it for the news in the queue. So now we move on to the main attraction. And of course, this week's main attraction, not to be self-indulgent, but it is.
It's all about you.
It's all about me. For those who are late tuning in or have not heard, we've put it out on social media and we talked about it last week on the podcast, but this is my final episode of the podcast and my final week with Attractions Magazine after 10 years. Tuesday will be my last day before I move over to Legoland in their PR department on Wednesday. So for the main attraction and for my last major thing for attractions, I wanted to take a look back at the past 10 years that I've been with attractions and talk about my 10 favorite segments that we have done for the attraction show, which is because the attraction show was kind of what brought me into the world of Attractions Magazine. So I just kind of want to go and take a little look back, maybe talk a little, give some stories about things that I can remember, and If you got any questions, let me know. And Brittany, if you've got any questions, let me know. So I'm just going to go ahead and find my first clip here. And if you're listening to the audio version, please go catch the replay over at youtube.com/attractions magazine of this podcast recording, because I am going to be showing visuals of these segments so that you can see what it looked like while I'm talking about my stories. All right. So the first segment here is number 10. Back in 2017, the Fantasmic at Disneyland got a big update, and I got to go out there and be the reporter and cover the opening of Fantasmic. This ended up being my last D23 Expo that I would go to. And so you can see right there, this is what makes it special for me. Not only am I getting to talk and interact with Mickey, but where I am standing is the balcony of the Disneyland Dream Suite. And I got to go inside the Dream Suite before this and get to look around. And, this was supposed to be Walt's second apartment at Disneyland, right above the entrance of Pirates of the Caribbean. Around the 50th anniversary, they changed it to a Dream Suite that guests could win a night to stay in, like we have the Cinderella Castle Suite here at Walt Disney World. So getting to go up there, interact with Mickey, see this suite in person, and then catch the new Fantasmic show in California was just mind-blowing to me.
Man, that's so cool. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, and you can attest to this because you've gone out there and you've seen this Fantasmic.
It's the best one.
It is the best Fantasmic. I know there are a lot of people that don't like this Fantasmic. Especially locals out there. And the original Fantasmic is wonderful. As someone who is used to our Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios, this one just blows ours out of the water. And you watch this one and then immediately a week later go back and watch ours, you're just like face palm yourself, like, oh, why can't we do this good Fantasmic?
Right? And the dragon and the projections, the whole Aladdin magic carpet thing. It's so great.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah. Yes, Michael, we met you up with you that weekend at Downtown Disney. So yeah, you can go check this out. I should have written down the dates of these episodes so people can go check them out. But you can just search for the attraction show Fantasmic. You'll be able to find this episode and the segment as is on its as well on our YouTube channel. So yeah, Fantasmic, definitely my number 10 pick for the past 10 years.
That's a great pick.
Thank you. Now let me move on to number 9. Number 9 is, why am I closing out of my stuff? Behind the scenes, everyone. Number 9 is a segment. This actually ended up being my second segment ever with the show. My first segment was a Star Wars exhibit at the History Center downtown Orlando. Then my second outing as a reporter for the attraction show was to cover Howl-O-Scream in 2011 at Busch Gardens. And I got thrust into zombie training. So you right there, I'm told how to walk like a zombie and act like a zombie. And then they put me in makeup, and I went through makeup, and they turned me into a zombie, and I went through a zombie boot camp to become a character for Howl-O-Scream.
You look like a baby.
Banks from 9 years ago, right there.
Oh my God, you're tiny. Yeah. No beard. Oh my God, I'm freaking out.
You guys, if you're listening to the audio version, go watch the video version so you can see what she's talking about. But yeah, you see I'm just kind of practicing right there. And then when I went through training, and that's Scott Swinson, who was one of the heads of Howl-O-Scream. Great guy, love him. And you can see me right there out in the park, getting to scare guests successfully and not successfully. But it was a 45-minute set. And I got to tell you, I had such an appreciation for characters who did this on a yearly basis and a nightly basis during the time of the year for Halloween. Because even for me, after 45 minutes, I was already hoarse and just ready to sit down and go to sleep.
Oh my
it was exhausting. So, but it was so much fun. Like this is what really made me feel like, okay, I'm now doing reporting, theme park reporting. Like this is what I've wanted to do, and I'm turned into a zombie. Like it's just, it was always something I will always remember.
Oh, I mean, that's like a 1 in a million kind of experience if you're not a scare actor every year. That's such a special thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And, last year, Aaron got to do the same thing at Halloween Horror Night and turned into a scare actor. And it's a fun little experience for those of us who aren't in theme park entertainment to get to be able to make believe for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So number 8, this one, a little, on the nose, but the opening of the Lego Movie World is my number 8 segment for many reasons, not just because that's where I am going this week to Legoland, but this was really the first segment Spencer, my daughter, got to be the worker with me for. So you can see us right here. We're riding Unikitty's Disco Drop, and she had such a fun time, and she just a ham on the camera. And just being able to host it with her and share her first experience with everyone was something. And that's my wife Sydney with Spencer on the water ride, because I didn't want to get wet, so I forced Sydney to go ride.
Nice, real nice.
And she's using Spencer as a shield right there. Please don't throw something at me. Please don't. My wife is about to throw something at me. She threw my shirt at me. No, it was such Lego Movie World is probably my favorite land, Legoland, Florida. And Spencer absolutely adores that park, and she had such a great time there. And she got to see the grand opening where they had that girl Lele, who sings Catchy Song, perform in person, and Spencer was like loving that. I got to meet her. So yeah, just the experience of doing this with my daughter was something I'll always treasure.
Oh, thanks.
And she's dancing there, and she just grabs the mic and hams it up.
This is my show now.
Yep, it is her show always whenever she's on camera. So and she's doing good right now. She's on a camping trip with the grandparents, so I'm very jealous of her. But anyway,
you man, me too.
Number 7. This is going to be an interesting pick. I know I've seen a lot of people when I mentioned that we were doing this for the podcast say several different segments, like, oh, the time you rode the Sky Coaster, and that's not on here. But this one,
that one's one of my favorites.
it is a good one. It is a good one. But for number 7, it's going to be when we covered Mardi Gras in 2014 at Universal Orlando. And what makes this so special is because Jenny Lynn and I got to be the king and queen of the Mardi Gras parade.
What?
And
that's so
we got
cool.
to show behind the scenes of how they dress them and get ready for the parade. And then we did a whole thing of us going out on the floor, too big of a crown there. Then, going out and throwing the beads and just having a good time. That was my first time getting to be one of the volunteers and throwing beads for the parade. And it was just such a fun experience. Like, if
what
you've
a
never
first time too. Oh my goodness.
If you've never gotten to volunteer and throw beads for the Mardi Gras parade, I highly recommend signing up next time they do it. If they do it next year, who knows at this point? But this is where you and I first met, was Mardi Gras, I think in 2016, 2017?
2017.
Yeah, riding the float together and throwing beads was the first time you and I met.
Yeah, and it was super fun. I love doing that.
It is such a fun one. So yeah, all hell King Banks. Thank you, Michael. Yes, me. I had to throw something in there with Jenny Lynn. I do miss her. She's doing good, for those wondering. So yeah, that's definitely a memory that I will treasure as well from my time here. All right, so number 6, we're going to stick to 2014, and we're going to stick to Universal, and this may be also an interesting choice, but it's the Celebration of Harry Potter 2014. This was the first year they ever did a celebration of Harry Potter. And what made this one special for me is because I got to, right here, do a wand dueling class with Paul Harris, who was the head duel choreographer for all of the Harry Potter films. So he is the guy that choreographed every wand duel you see in the movies. So he taught us how to do some moves and wand dueling. And he singled me out, as you'll see in a second on the video. and had me do it by myself because I was the best one of the group. And it was just like, oh wow, like here I am, like as someone who does theater, like this was such a cool experience to get to learn this choreography. And as you can see, I am
You are doing it.
nibble eat there. We're just gonna watch the video now, everyone. So
I feel this is like Banks's top 10 things I'm jealous that he got to do and I didn't list.
I saw someone said that in the chat. The top 10 things Banks did that we're jealous of.
Yeah, no, that's how I feel right now because I was like, these are such cool experiences. Like, no wonder they're on your top experience list. But now I'm like, I want to do that.
Like I'm a big guy, so I was surprised I was able to do a lot of those moves as quick as I did, and I still remember them too. So I could win a wizard duel.
Yeah. Are you sure?
No, probably not. Cool Daddy in the yes, golf with Spencer was a great thing this year. Things to do in the quarantines. That was a fun one. Ebony wants to know house. I'm a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Brittany?
I'm a Slytherin.
You and Sydney. Both Slytherin. Me and my Hufflepuff.
Yeah. Whenever I remember when I first took the Pottermore quiz, because that was what I judged it off of. And I would tell people and they would be like, yeah. And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? But
hi, Amber.
Yeah, dude,
Welcome,
Slytherin
Amber.
pride.
Yo, after Legoland, someone says I should work as an Auror for Mac USA. No, I don't think so. Or Makuza, I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, Makuza.
All right, so now into the top 5. Now, I pulled it because when I edited the 10-year video for the show, this is where I kind of gotten in my mind what I thought were my top 10 moments, and top 5 was hard to choose which one was going to go in what order. These are all my favorite moments ever, but if we're going to go in order, number 5 is going to be when we went to cover the Insane Inflatable 5K. Now, this one I was not a reporter for. This was Andy and Alyssa who were the reporter, but I was the videographer with the GoPro following them. And so I got to do all of these obstacles and bounce and slide and have fun. And it was just such a fun event. Andy and Alyssa are so good together.
They're so good together.
And this was no exception. It was just so much fun to be a kid again and bounce on these big giant bounce houses for adults and try to get through these obstacles. As you see Andy failing this obstacle right there, just falling off. This shot right there, that is me holding the GoPro in my mouth so that I can use both of my hands to climb up on the rope. That's a little behind the scenes that I've never told anyone.
They make wearable mounts on your head, right?
You know what, Brittany? I don't think I brought it that day, so I was like, well, crap. So I just, bit it down and...
Hey, you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
And the Insane Inflatable 5K, of course, with everything going on right now, I'm not sure if this is an event that is going on, but if it does come back in the future, I highly recommend, if it comes to your town, do the Insane Inflatable 5K. I want
to do it.
It is so much fun. So much fun. In a 5K is 3.1 miles, and then you go through these obstacles, and the obstacles are spaced out throughout the 3 miles. So it's very easy to do. You can do it casually. You don't have to run or jog between the obstacles. You can take your time through the obstacles. So, definitely. And that's when I got hit in the face and fell down. So thank you, Andy and Alyssa, for doing that.
Oh, there, I see you. There you go.
Yep. And then I nearly bounced out of the aisle there. But
they should have had a camera on you too, so we could have watched that.
It was so much fun. You can, in fact, all of these segments can be found on our YouTube channel. So if everyone wants to go and check them out, I recommend that. Now, 4, this is one that I know many people have said is their favorite video, practically in all attractions.
Is it?
And can you guess what it is, Brittany?
Is it Falcon's Fury?
It is Falcon's Fury.
Yes, I love this one.
Falcon's Fury. When Falcon's Fury opened at Busch Gardens in 2014, Elisa and I went and did the rider cam for it. So you're seeing the clips right now. This thing, over 300 feet tall. It's a drop tower, but when you get to the top, if you don't know, it rotates you 90 degrees, so you're facing the ground, and then you drop down and swing back up before you reach the bottom. And it was the most terrifying but fun experience. Like, you listen to the audio when you watch the video, and I have to bleep myself twice because, like, you feel when that thing rotates and you go down, especially for a big guy like me, you feel your weight shift in that seat and all of your weights just go onto your harness. That is one of the most terrifying feelings in the world.
Oh,
just
man.
Relying on this harness to hold 300 pounds.
If we're being honest here, I can't tell you how many times I've watched this video just to laugh at it because it is so funny.
It's freaking out now.
And the fact that you not only bleeped yourself, because bleeps are always funny, but you did it with like an eagle, like falcon cry. Oh my god, it is so funny.
It honestly is, like I said, the top 5 videos can be interchangeable, but yeah, this is one of my favorite things ever, and one of my best memories with Elisa, and just my favorite rider cam I've ever done of all the rider cams. Like, just look at fear on my face right there. I am like freaking the heck out.
I feel like your spirit left your body when it.
Yes, Amusement Labs, I am a baby when it comes to this ride.
Oh man, that is a video I will treasure forever, and I wasn't even there. It's
one of those rides. No matter how many times you ride this ride, that feeling will never go away. I still get nervous and scared every time I ride this ride. It's just that shift in the seat when it rotates is
I will forever regret that when Vincent and I season 1 of ENL that we never got to do that on the stream. Because that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, they don't really allow cameras on that ride, but yeah.
Well, I mean, someone from the bottom or
yeah. All right, so number 3, and I've seen Michael reference this in the chat already, but number 3 is when I went out to California to cover 90s Night at Disneyland last year. Just getting to hang out with Tiffany and Jeff, and getting to relive my childhood, meeting Max right there, doing the eye to eye, the perfect cast with him. And just hearing all the 90s music, seeing the Disney Afternoon After Dark fireworks with all the theme songs, like, it was just such a fun night. One of my favorite trips out to California, even though it was a very quick trip. I hope they do this more often. I know they did 80s Night, or did they do it, or was it?
I think
they were closed before they do it.
I think the park closed before they were going to do it. I wish they
did it. No, they did it because my friend Jeremiah went out for 80s Night. It happened right before it closed. I would love, and I have to say this before, I would love to bring this kind of event out here to Florida.
If only, dude. I was so jealous again of this experience that you got to go do. It looked so much fun, and also Disneyland is super empty, so you got to like ride rides, I guess, and just like experience Disneyland not as its congested self.
It was still very busy, because people were there for this event. The line for Max was 45 minutes long. Only one we rode Roger Rabbit. That was before the event started, because when the event started, we knew, like, okay, we got to see the characters, we got to see the fireworks, and do all the event specific stuff. Forget the attractions. So that's it was so weird to go to Disneyland and only ride Roger Rabbit, but the event was worth it for sure.
It looked so much fun.
I see Sydney is in the chat. My wife, Sydney. I'm sorry, Sydney. The pregnancy announcement was not in the top 10.
How dare you?
Wow.
It's not because it's not a fun moment. Like, if I don't know which episode it was on. I can't remember the dates, but there was a moment where Elisa gave me a card at the end of an episode that
I worked really hard on that.
Yeah, Sydney kept the secret from me. and it announced that she was pregnant with Oliver. And I found out on camera at the end of the show, and it's such a beautiful moment. There's some great photos that Jonathan took of the moment, and yeah, I can't remember the exact episode that was on, but it was probably around mid to late 2017. I would say probably around mid, maybe August or so. Judging 9 months from April, so. Yeah, it was when we were hosting. We were hosting at a Fun Spot in Kissimmee, so that'll narrow things down because we never got to host there very often. But that was definitely a wonderful. And the reason I didn't even have it in here is because it was not included in the 10-year recap. So that's why I didn't even think about including it.
How dare you?
You're gonna answer for this when this podcast is over.
Yeah, no, I'm on the couch tonight. That's for sure. All right, number 2 is this one. I mentioned childhood, like with the 90s and childhood dreams and getting to relive my childhood. And this was a childhood dream come true that I will never forget. And I wish was still a thing here in Orlando. And that is getting slimed at the Nick Hotel with Nickelodeon slime. Just the getting, just watch. Every kid growing up watching Nickelodeon, even today, wants that thrill of being slimed. Because slime is still a big part of Nickelodeon to this day. And when Nickelodeon Hotel was closing here in Orlando, I wanted to film an episode out there and do a history of the hotel and showcase the hotel one last time. And I remember asking like one of the PR people there saying, is it possible like you can have us slime at the end of the episode? And they were so game, and they're like, sure, of course, we'll do it. And it was just like, oh my God, I get to get slimed. And being slimed was, and I'm including the credits here because it shows all the different angles and slow motion. But yeah, just what do you imagine, Brittany, that slime feels like?
Like it isn't it like tapioca pudding or something? Like it.
It's very gooey, very like stringy, and it was very warm. I do remember it being very warm.
That's gross. Ew.
It wasn't like freezing cold. It wasn't hot, but it was like room temperature.
Oh, that's gross.
I don't think it's gross at all. I think it's like cool.
I don't know, man. I'm just like thinking about the slime and it being warm.
People Lab says it's pudding, applesauce, and dye.
Oh, interesting. Well, I guess if you eat it, it won't hurt you. But
yeah. I think it's edible, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I do recommend getting slimed. I know Nick earlier this year, even I think like last year, they were doing like this slime experience, like going around to different cities. Slime City, I believe is what it was called, and you can get slimed at those. So if that kind of pop-up event comes back, highly recommend it.
You should go back if it comes to Orlando and relive that experience. Yes.
All right. So number 1, my favorite moments of mine from 10 years of the attraction show. Can you even take a guess?
I have no idea.
No idea.
All right. Idea.
So this comes from, I believe it was 2015 or 2016, one of those years, at Universal Orlando. They were filming the hit NBC show American Ninja Warrior.
Yes, I should have guessed this.
Yes. So we got to go out there and cover the set out there on the New York streets and the filming, and we got to interview the hosts of the show. And then they allowed all of us media invited to give it a go on the first obstacle, which if you know the first obstacle, it's the slanted stepping stones. There's 5 of them. And so when I was interviewing the hosts, I was kind of getting their recommendations of what to do. They've been seeing contestants do this for years now. Like what should I do? And so Matt's right there. He was telling me I should just, take it one at a time, both feet, hold on. She was telling me to do the same thing. And then Akbar right there, he told me, no, I just got to power through. Like, I'm a tall guy. I got long legs. Just power through. And so he came up with me on stage right there and was in my face telling me what to do and giving me a pep talk.
Oh my
And
God.
so he got me so pumped up that I was abandoned my original plan and I was just going to power through and hope my momentum kept me going. And as you can see coming up right here, he makes it
God.
1, 2, 3, and down.
Oh no.
He loses his momentum. I'm talking myself in the third person. But it was just the adrenaline of that pep talk and
You
the
did it, though.
I was surprised I made it that far, honestly.
Yeah,
but
I couldn't do that. I would have to like grab and hold it because I have short legs. I'm short, so I would have to
you would need to take it one at a time.
Yeah. I
But-
would want to do it slalomed like that though, so that's awesome.
But I'm a big fan of that show, and getting to do a little bit of what I see people do on that show and give it my best was such a fun experience. And you know, getting so close with the hosts and him and Akbar actually going up with me and like pumping me up, like that was just such a fun moment. Like I will never forget that.
Man, that's so awesome. Oh, Andy's in the chat. What's up?
Oh yes, Andy. All of his favorite Banks moments are behind the scenes stuff that probably will never see the light of day.
I have a favorite.
What's real quick before you tell your favorite, Andy?
Okay.
I don't know if you saw it, but Andy, the Insane Inflatable 5K was number 5 on the list, and I was talking about how segments with the list are always some of my favorite films because you two just perfect with the bantering and the improv and just having fun.
Aw.
So, Brittany, I know you teased last week that you have a couple of favorite Ian Mel moments.
I do. I couldn't find one of them, but I found the other one. So one of when we would host ENL at Hollywood Studios, Banks and I had a tradition, and that is that we would go get cream cheese filled pretzels at the pretzel stand next to Great Movie Ride, and then they got rid of it. But
they're still somewhere.
I think they're at Launching Pad in Magic Kingdom still.
Yeah, I think they're at Launching Pad, and I think I heard a report that they may be at a stand next to Rock and Roller Coaster. I will have to check tomorrow.
Do it. Have one for me because that was I always enjoyed that, and I think there's a GIF of you dancing like this that you can search on Twitter if you search like Early Night Live or Attractions Magazine. It'll probably come up. But I remember that GIF in my brain of you dancing after getting a cream cheese pretzel. But my all-time favorite one was going with you and Vincent and Spencer to see Wishes the last night that it happened. That one was so good.
You were with us, Sydney.
Sydney, were you there?
I can't remember.
I believe Sydney was with us because I think you were helping watch Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
But that was very special and emotional because Wishes was like, it's Wishes,
Yeah, Wishes.
But that was so much fun, and it felt like such a good like attractions group thing. It was just so special and nice, and it was a monumentous occasion, saying goodbye to a show that had been there for so long.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Sydney and I got.
Uh-oh, I lost you. Oh no. Technical difficulties. And
Are you back?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Can everyone else hear us? We had a little connection issue. That's the first time that's happened.
Yeah, that's never happened before.
I'm just taking everything with me.
Right? It would happen your last episode.
Yeah, type down 128.
128.
Okay, Figment says that they can hear us, and can you see us and all that good stuff? Hi, Barbara. Before we continue on, I just want to make sure that we're visible and you can hear us and you see us as well. Okay, cool. Right. All right, cool. We're back. All right.
Cool. Whoopsie.
All right. I'll start back with the points real quick. All right. Yeah, wishes will always be special. Not only from that night with the final wishes, but wishes is actually when I proposed to Sydney back in 2009. We got to do it in the Rose Garden before they took the Rose Garden out. So that show is a special place.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's our trip down memory lane, guys. Like I said, all of the moments that we've talked about, you can catch on youtube.com/attractions magazine. They'll always be there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that little look.
How do you feel?
Well, I feel like we're at the end of the episode.
Oh.
And yeah.
Don't you dare.
Don't what?
Don't you dare start crying.
I'm probably gonna cry. Real quick. DJJS in the chat. What do you wish more, wishes or illumination?
Wishes.
Illuminations. I do
Really?
love wishes, but I love illuminations.
Yeah, it can go.
All right. So yeah, we're reaching the end of the episode. Before we go, let's go ahead and real quick do the usual stuff. So, Brittany, where can everyone find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at Brittany Tuttle. That's BrittaniTuttle. It's spelled funny on Twitter and Instagram, and occasionally at twitch.tv/BritPlays with 3 T's.
And of course, please, if you want to follow me after this week, follow me at Banks Lee on Twitter, at Disney Goofball on Instagram. And of course, you can still follow Attractions Magazine on all their social Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and attractionsmagazine.com. So I just want to thank each and every one of you guys out there watching and listening to this for all of your love, all of your support for the past 10 years. There's many reasons why I loved this job, and you guys and seeing you guys in the parks and meeting you in person and chatting with you were a big reason why I love this job. Just knowing that what I was doing was making a difference in terms of vacation planning and being at the parks again. I love all of you guys out there. And Brittany, I have had such an amazing time getting your co-host and work with you over the past 4 years now, I think.
Yeah.
I will always be a huge supporter of you and what you're doing with attractions, and we'll continue to follow you and everything that's been going on. Amusement Labs asks, is this leave temporary? No, this is not temporary. This is it. I'm saying goodbye tonight. This is the end of my attractions career. This is it's sad. Like, this is what I've known for the past 10 years, and I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart, and everyone that we've worked with, all of our reporters, Matt and Jackie and Quinn and Andy and Alyssa and Elisa and Jonathan, Brittany, Vincent, so many names, Haley, just everyone that has had a little impact on attractions. Thank you for being here and helping us. And I value your friendship. I value everyone's friendship here. And I hope you continue to, follow me on my socials and follow what's going on in my life, because I don't want to touch with anyone. I really don't. Though I'm not with attractions, I will still be out there. and it's sad, but it's good transition. Like I'm very happy with where I am. I'm very happy with what is about to happen. I'm ready for the change, but it's been a hell of a ride, and I wouldn't want anyone else to ride it with, but all of you guys.
Thanks.
So I'm just,
Let's not acknowledge that I'm crying.
yeah, no, I'm trying to. You can catch me tomorrow. I'll be live streaming from studios tomorrow, but these are my. Yeah, I'll walk home if I cry tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be all fun, but before we say goodnight, I wanted to indulge me for a second, because I want to. There's some quotes that I really love. When I first moved to Orlando in 2007, I think the first time I went to SeaWorld was either 2007 or 2008. First time going to SeaWorld since moving to Orlando permanently. And back then there were a couple of shows that they had, Blue Horizons, the Dolphin Show, and then Believe, which was the Shamu show. And there were some songs there when the lyrics to those songs really meant a lot to me at that time, because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. I was working for Disney, nothing that was going to be permanent. And so these lyrics were kind of ways to keep me going and making stupid little YouTube videos and things like that. And so I just wanted to leave you guys with these lyrics that have kept me going for much more long the past 10 years. And I think have a message that could keep you going if you are listening to this or watching this and have trouble in your life and trying to figure out what you want to do. So just indulge me for a second as I recite these lyrics. Tomorrow begins at the horizon, and all your dreams are waiting there, where a golden sun meets a glowing sea. So reach for your dreams, always be true, and you'll be amazed what they can do. Just follow your heart, let it inspire. Hope lifts you up, dreams take you higher. Think what a world this world would be when you believe. So believe in yourself, everyone, because I know I believe in you. And believe that I will miss you guys so much. And I'm sorry to end it on such a sad note, but just know I love you, and I will always be here if you need anyone to reach out to. I'm here. Believe that.
You will always be the professor of theme parkonomics to us. I think I can speak for everybody out there listening and watching. Lots of crying emojis in the chat right now.
I know. Until next week, everyone. Go out there, be safe, wear your mask, but as always, for the last time, have fun.
Bye, everybody.
Talk to you later.